guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we are carrying on our series about integrating a chat system in Unreal Engine. And if you guys been following the series, what we did last time is that we have created UI. So if I press enter now, I can actually see my messages in there. And if I press enter again, that thing gets, just hidden, and then we can carry on and press and play the game. Right, so what we're gonna be doing today is that we're gonna just do some quickly clean up in here. And after do this cleanup, we're gonna rewire this so you can create their own components and even maybe starting to register some messages. We're probably gonna be doing some variable setup. So let's just get started here. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to collapse this to a macro. Actually, I want to collapse the nodes here. So I'm just going to press this button down. And if you notice, it's going to collapse all that code to something they call nodes, right? And where is those nodes? Is in here, collapse graph. And the reason why we're doing this is purely for organization. We want to make sure that this is really, if I go back here in the next 6 months, I know exactly what this code is trying to do. So I'm going to go back here to the inputs, to the event graph, sorry. And I'm just going to rename here. I'm going to call this setup the player controller ref, right? And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing for this node. I'm going to right click. And I'm gonna call collapse nodes, and I'm gonna call this guy to setup, actually start widget reference. And I can even get a color, let's say purple. And this one I could put like, I don't know, green, for example. And as you can see, it's much more readable because it's everything content inside those components. I'm just gonna align everything here, cool. Right, so to do the next one, we're gonna do the same thing here, right? I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna go to collapse the nodes, and I'm gonna say set up the events, and I'm gonna put it in that, open up this, and from here you could actually put output in here if you want to carry on that node, that's fine. And now in here, what you guys could do is just, try to organize this a little bit better. So let's say, handle the chat open and here. And we can just plug and say handle the chat close, right? That's pretty much everything that we're looking here. Cool, everything looking good, looking great. So far, let's test if this works the way we expect it to. It does. And yeah, we have a very clean setup here. Right, so the next thing we're gonna do, let's mess up with this widget layout a little bit, because right now I can't barely see what I'm typing on this. So let's go back to the chat box here. And as you can see, we have a couple of inputs in the input system. I think we have style here somewhere. So wrapping, Windows. I'm gonna actually, yes, style. There we go. So the background here, let's put like a black. Let's see a black here. That sounds good. So if I actually type here, probably not going to look that great right now. Right, so we need to change that once we hover as well. So once we hover, I'm going to put black. You guys can change these whatever you want. I just gonna do like a black and white color here, just so it's easy to type. I think we also need to change something else by the looks of it. So white. Oh yeah, this is once is focused. That's it. And that's it. We don't need about read only. That's great. Now I think we can change the text style. So the font here, we're gonna use the Roboto, whatever, and I am gonna check the color. I'm not sure. Is that the color of that? Let's just put like a green color just to test what's gonna happen here. Yes, so it's a green color, which is alright. So normally what I like to do here is I like to put just a just a white color, and that will be fine. Or I'm just gonna put yellow for now. I know it's horrible, but it will give some context for us here. So if I can type, I should be looking a little bit better. And now what I want to do here, I think we may have used the wrong input system here, because right now these say multiple, right? And I don't think I want to use a multiple line, although I could use this. But anyway, let's change the font size. Let's put 24, right? Let's just press play. As you can see, we have a text box and the enter works fine. So that's kind of what I want to. That's fine. I think we probably should be better off using another kind of input. Let's just search for inputs in here, or actually text input. And I think we should probably use a text box. Yes, let me just put a text box in here. And I'm gonna just press that one to fill up as well. And let me just double check how this one looks like. Yes, we are using the wrong one. We should be using actually a text box, because once we press enter, it doesn't break the line. So no worries, we're just gonna rename, I'm gonna delete this odd one. I'm gonna call this input system. And I'm just gonna do the same thing here. Let's make sure it's black. Let me put this one here to the black color as well. And this one here is going to be black color. Cool. And now we are going to change the font, the text style. The font here is going to be Roboto. That's good. The color is going to be red, yellow. And I think we got everything that we're looking for here so far. Right. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds really good. If I press enter, something happened. I also have the send button. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this, but I could probably leave it right there for now. And that works right like that. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I am going to actually have the spacer here and all that. That's great. I'm going to migrate all those into their own components. So I'm going to create a message component in here. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to delete all that stuff. This is just for testing purposes. And all I want to do here is something, let's say, in that we have a text, right? And I'm just going to call this is my message. And I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm probably going to do something like time, right? So let's say we're getting the current time. So let's say this message, so right now it's 21:07 or something like this. So we could have, and then we probably need to find a way of displaying that data. We could probably do something like this. Yes, sounds alright. Yeah, it display what time this has been sent. Normally probably would use this behind, but we can just leave it like that for now. Just gonna put a color. It doesn't matter the order. We can always change this in the future. This is so we can have you know, which message came first, which message came after, and all that stuff. I'm probably gonna remove this, and I'm just gonna add a left padding of something like 20. Yeah, that's fine. So it looks a little bit better right now. Cool. Right. So, or even you can even align this to the left. I think if I do a fill, I think we can put something like, yes, like that. So this way, that thing is always aligned to the button here. So you always have the message right there. Cool. Right. So the next thing we're gonna do is transform this into a component. Right. Right now, I can see this is probably gonna be a issue when trying to read. So I'm just gonna wrap this guy into a border. And the border here, we're just gonna put like a black color. Oh, that's the wrong one. We wanna, where's the border here? We wanna play with the tint. Yes, that's the one. And I'm just gonna, the opacity I'm gonna put 0.2. Just so it's slightly bordered in that, so you can actually, oh, that's, you can barely see that. 0.2, 0 here, cool. There you go. So as you guys can see, there's just a little bit of a spacing here. Right, cool. This is looking really good. So far is so good. Now I'm gonna go back to our components here. I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna create a new user interface, and I am gonna call WBP chat input, right? Or I could just put maybe message. Message will be, sounds like a better option for us. Right, now we have the message. What we are going to do here, I'm gonna right click in here on the border. Actually on the message, I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna copy, go to our messages, I'm gonna paste this value there, and I'm gonna compile and save. Go back to the chat box. I'm gonna delete this stuff because I don't need it, and now I'm gonna search for the messages, right? The one I have just created. And now I should be able to duplicate this as many times I want, and I should have a very nice message coming up. I can even use the scroll, which is really great. Right, so I think we got everything set up for this system so far. Now the next thing that we need to do here is that when we press enter, so let's wire this event. So when the player press enter, when you press send, you actually send the message. So we're just gonna do the event before we can actually, so then in the next lesson we actually start to set up the structure of this message, and then we can actually start, you know, sending this stuff through the server and replicating to all the clients and doing all sorts of stuff. Right, so to do this, we're gonna go to our graph here, and this is on our chat box, right? Our chat box here. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna actually select my event here, and I am gonna change, I'm gonna select this on text committed. That means that the player or the user in this case is actually trying to submit the message. Let's see if this is the case. So if I come back, press enter, you see he's sending the message, which is really good for us. So it is, so it's sending like Mario, yeah. Now I don't know why it's actually sending twice, but I would say that we can take care of that issue later on. I could probably do something like do once, you know, and I'm not sure why it's sending twice, but this will allow us to only send this message only one time. Actually, this is a problem. We can actually, so we're gonna print this, hello, we're gonna add a delay 0.2, maybe that's fine, and we can do something like that. Press play, and that will actually send our message only one time, as you can see that. It's probably pressing twice, do something else, I'm not entirely sure, but that will fix this issue for now. Right, cool. So let's just wire this stuff up then. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna create a custom event, and I'm gonna call API. And the reason why I'm calling API here, this is just how I like to do it. If I'm gonna be accessing this method and I want something that's interactable and I know I can reuse this over and over again, I like to put API on top of it. And I'm gonna call send message, right? And the API send message will have one input, which will be the message itself. And this is going to be a text, right? I'm going to be sending a text. For now, we only going to print something like this. So I'm just going to call the append node. I'm just going to say the message is, and I'm going to put the message right there. I'm going to change this color to something like, I don't know, maybe yellow color. That sounds great. And I'm going to put this thing here. And I think that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to get a message. Send the message here. Plug it in there. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen. So this is actually a problem. I do need to do a delay, and I just need to reset it to, let's say, 2. Actually, that's too much. 0.1 seconds, good. I'm gonna plug this all the way up here. Let me just organize that. And cool. That should give us some message coming up. Right, so if I put this is my super message and I press enter, the message is this is my super message. This is cool. Right. Now this is the input committed event. And now, if you guys remember, we have also a send button here. Let's just change this style for now, because this is looking really... Actually, that's the wrong one. Let's just change this background color to maybe that. Yeah, that sounds alright. Yeah. And we can change this to maybe... Yeah, like something like this. It's just a different color, doesn't matter, right? Now on send, so once we click the button, right, we also need to be able to send this event here. So let me just call that, and we need to send the message here. Now we have a problem, like we need to get the content of the input field that we're trying to send, right? So how do we do that? That's really easy. So we're gonna get our input reference here, and we get this, and we're gonna get text. Yes, and we should be able to do that here as well. So if we press play, for that, press send, as you can see, that is sending. For some reason, this is sending twice. And as you can see, I don't want to be able to spawn this too much. So what I want to do here is I want to do the same approach of this thing here. As you guys can see, this is starting to get a little bit like repetitive, right? This is starting to actually be repetitive and possible could be a problem. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna copy, actually I'm gonna not wire all this stuff, I'm gonna delete this, gonna drag this node here, unplug this holding oath, and here I am just gonna do something like this. I don't want my player to be able to spawn the messages all the time. And to be fair, with this mechanism in place, we could even add some kind of a delay in the future if you want to add some kind of a chat filter. Let's say you want to only be able to post one message every 5 seconds, and then if you have a premium account, you could lower that number for, you know what I mean. You could go crazy with those values if you want. Now all you gotta do is just call that method here, like we're doing before. Here, cool. And that should work exactly in the same way for one and for the other. So here, and if I press enter, that works as well. Yeah, guys, I think that's everything that we need for now. There's a lot of stuff that we still have to implement. And of course, we still have to bring 2 different players and see how this message is going to be displayed across different players and different screens and stuff. But what we're going to be doing here is that in the next episode, hopefully we're going to get to a point where we have the base system work, where we're going to be able to type a message, it's going to go to the channel, and then we're going to have our name, the message, the time, and then we're going to be able to replicate this message to other clients. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I see you guys in the next one.